Welcome to episode, I think it's 3, 2, fuck if I know, Kabinkast. Yeah! Joining me with the usual is that guy. Say hello, you little shit
Hi.
you. Alright, and our guests of the week. Techno Forest Dweller, VC Hero.
Hey, how you doing?
That sound?
Sound of a spaceship hovering over.
Oh, that must have been another car.
Fucking ironic considering what we're talking about today. Anyway, other guy that's joining us, the dude, TM.
Hello.
Alright, so, let's move along with what we have planned for tonight's special succulent podcast.
Did you say sucking?
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I said succulent. What are you gonna do about it? Alright, so, first off, cryptid of the week. Ghost and spirit.
Cryptid of the week.
Aww.
Oh my. This should be interesting.
Well, as you all know, ghosts are ghosts.
Oh my gosh.
You seen them, you heard them. Ooh, I felt a chill.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, thing about ghosts is they're most commonly spirits of people who have passed on but have yet to move on to the other world. Almost every form of culture has encountered its own version of a ghost, either it being the spirit of the dead, spirits from the spirit world in and of itself, basically any form of non-physical being stuck in our world.
Spooky.
You also have some non-human spirits as well.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
I've heard stories about people, I guess, sensing presence of like an animal spirit. You know, after a dog has passed away or
Shrek
something.
ghost.
you know, what wasn't there like what was it? A dog ghost short story? I remember reading one about that where like this one dude, his dog passed away, and essentially he would see it every night walking the hallways after it passed away. And like the more he saw it, the more aggressive it got with him.
I think it first began with just like dog steps, like you know that distinct sound that you hear when the dog.
Wait, where did you hear that from? If you
I think
remember.
I think this was a green text.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was some. I think the dog's name was Max, and like the more the guy got closer to his dog, the more aggressive it got, or the spirit of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Wow.
I know what story you're talking about.
Interesting.
As long as we're talking about animal spirits, I'm just going to throw this out there. I remember years ago I was watching this TV show which was about like ghosts or paranormal encounters. I remember hearing this one story about a cat ghost
Oof.
where I forget exactly what it was, but it was something like this family moved into a house and then they kept seeing like this cat wandering around their house. And then one of the guys goes into the basement, he finds a mummified little cat skeleton, he takes it out, throws it away, and the next thing you know, they don't see the ghost anymore. Or the cat.
And that's the thing with a lot of ghosts, is they're usually tied to something that's holding them back from passing over into the other world. Usually something's preventing them from their spirits passing on, and most of the time it usually makes them hostile. Like, 8 out of 10 times you encounter a ghost, it's probably going to be hostile with you. However, there are just the spirits that want to move on and rest in peace.
Yeah. Usually they stay behind because either they have some sort of unfinished business or there's something that isn't done yet. And other times there possibly might be something in the spirit world that is preventing them from traveling further.
If you guys remember the best green text of all time, Chad Ghost Puncher, you know, where, basically a bunch of spirits were left behind, because one of the landlords screwed him over and they tried to use the dark arts to get back at him, but they ended up being spirits. And so, an absolute Chad is the guy who moved into the house after they died, and oh my god, he tries punching the ghost. He brings in satanic iconography just to piss on it, and he starts aggressively punching the ghost. Like he takes one of those religious
Try
relics.
to punch it.
Yeah, I swore, like mid-story, he would like pour holy water on his fists. I think. It's
yeah, no.
I remember he.
The section
he
you're
started-
talking. The section you're talking about is when he dipped his fists in holy water, turned off
Yeah.
the lights, and started wildly swinging.
Yeah.
I remember he started whack.
And he left a bunch of like holes on the walls.
I remember they started whacking it on a Ouija board.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
totally. He started he pissed on a Ouija board and set it on fire.
How
And like when
the-
they brought in a medium, the ghost said they were terrified of him.
Yeah, they were scared of him.
Although technically, if you want to say a Ouija board is a portal, he just pissed into a portal.
Oh, fuck.
He's
Yeah, pretty much.
now in another
He urinated
dimension.
on some alien.
Cross-dimensional pissing.
Urinated on the foul through the interdimensional creature.
I didn't even think that was possible.
Piss on your grave, step on your head.
Fuck.
Hey, so I have a question for you guys. Do you feel like spirits are only supposed to be like bad spirits? You know, do you guys believe in maybe good spirits?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, like I said before, it's mostly negative spirits due to the nature of a ghost and the reason they're being left behind in our world. However, there are always those situations where friendly spirits are left behind.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's what I'm going to say with that question. You could have like a haunted house where like activity is violent, but just because, you know, you have like violent activity or, you know, like situations like that, that doesn't necessarily mean you have like a bad spirit or a demonic spirit. Like maybe you just have a spirit that, you know, likes to joke around or mess with people.
Well,
Right.
Like,
a lot of people tend to lump them up in the negative spirits, seeming as they mess around with people, but they're mostly harmless.
mostly.
Mostly, yeah. That's what.
That's the key word.
Sure. Yeah, keyword
Do you think
mostly because
spirits are self-conscious? Like they know what they're doing? Or do you think it's kind of just...
What are we talking about self-conscious? Self-conscious like a white girl eating cake or self-conscious like a AI that just learned about itself?
I'm pretty sure a spirit is self-conscious.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I don't think it's... whenever someone brings up a conversation on spirits, it almost seems like they're always, like, run by rage or some kind of emotion, right? But I tend to believe that I think they know what they're doing, and I don't think sometimes they're really, around us because of some purpose. I think maybe sometimes, people's souls, I guess, just get left behind and they're kind of just, chilling around here. Right? I don't know. I don't always think that it's because of, purpose. If you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have worded that better, but
So as we were saying, a key difference is that you gotta know the difference between a ghost spirit and a demonic spirit, because those are not the same thing.
Indeed.
Like, you can have, your average haunting of someone who has passed on, but demonic spirits never lived in the material world or our world, and demonic spirits are 100% evil.
They are.
And
I'm
it
going
depends
to-
on how much power a demonic spirit has, that the intensity of the haunting is related. If that makes sense. Like, if you get like a low level talking about this shit like it's an RPG, but if like you get a lesser spirit, you tend not to have as bad as a haunting as something like, I don't know, if it's like a lesser spirit, you might get some shit being moved around, some
Teleporting forks,
noises,
moving chairs.
teleporting forks, that stuff. Like, say you get something like Payman or Beelzebub, a Lord of Hell, or Leviathan, they can physically manifest, and you do not want to fuck with those guys.
yeah, shit.
Snap you in half. With
Well, I mean, there are some demons that are actually more powerful than Lucifer or Satan himself.
Yeah, the Lords of Hell.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, that's a fact. There are demons that are more powerful than, like, the actual devil.
Yeah, the Lords of Hell, I believe it's Haman, Beelzebub, Satan,
Bugger
Lucifer.
off.
Hold on, let me
Holy
get
shit. Holy
This is
fuck.
why I closed my door.
You doing all right there?
Sorry about that. A little shit came into my room and tried to tap me on the shoulder.
Spirit.
Alright, here we go. Lucifer, Beelzebub, Satan, Abaddon, Mammon, Belphegor, and Asmodeus. Those are the lords of hell.
Yeah. Here, Hans, if you don't mind, I want to give an explanation for demons. Just one moment.
Well, try
it's
not to go too into it because it's not the same thing as ghosts, and I'd like to talk about them on a later date, on a later episode.
All right. Well, I'm just going to give a brief explanation. According to Christianity, the Mormon branch, if you don't mind. But according to the Mormons, God had a plan to create humans and put them on Earth. And he assembled other various angels and godly beings to decide what needed to be done. And his two eldest sons, which were Jesus and Lucifer, were chosen to decide the fate of our world. Lucifer suggested that we have no free will and we are forced to essentially do his bidding. And Jesus suggested that man have free will and that he be able to choose whether he wants to follow God or not. So obviously Jesus was chosen as the savior and ruler of our world Earth. Lucifer obviously becomes enraged by this and convinces 1/3 of the angels to go rebel against God.
But God is God.
Yeah. As punishment for rebelling against God, the angels, or spirit children, which were supposed to be born into human bodies, were cursed to wander Earth without having a physical body, so that's why demons are spirits. Also, according to Mormons, spirits who chose to follow God and Jesus were given bodies of flesh and bone with white skin. And that's the reason we have white people. Now, contrary to other branches of Christianity, there was a third group of angels that stayed neutral. According to the Mormon belief, they were allowed to have physical bodies like you and me, but as punishment for not choosing the side, they were born with black skin. And that's why, according to Mormons, we have black people.
Fucking base Mormons.
I'm not joking. It actually says that in the Book of Mormon.
Well, the problem is the Book of Mormon is arguably heretical, so...
Yeah, but anyways, that's the reason why they're spirits rather than physical beings.
Oh boy. It's always a good day when you learn the origins of black people.
Shut up.
At least in the eyes of the Mormons.
Well... Yeah.
How it all began, part 1.
There was N-words in God's bumhole.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to ask you to cease and desist before Susan Wojcinski herself comes and eat us out.
Whoa. Okay, listen, I'm a child, and if she does that, she's going to jail.
Well, she has power over YouTube. So
I'm not talking about
figure
YouTube, I'm talking about the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Oh, please. You're
Child
probably
Crimes
right,
Edition.
Well, anyway, back on topic. Ghosts and demons, there's obviously a huge difference considering ghosts are the remaining spirits of humans who once inhabited the world in a physical body. Demons? You don't mess with them.
Nibbers.
Nope.
Like, you're asking to be dragged to hell if you mess with a demon.
Yeah.
I watched enough Ghost Adventures. I know how this shit turns out.
They tickle your neck, and they whisper in your ear. Naughty.
Subscribe.
3 straight red lines going down
No,
your
we
back.
can't say that anymore because of the negative connotations.
Alright, yeah.
I can't say 3 straight red lines.
Oh no, 3 straight red lines. Isn't that supposed to be a mockery of the Trinity, the Holy Trinity?
Yeah, it's supposed to represent the demonic trinity.
Well, anyway, kids, when you see ghosts, make sure it's Casper the Friendly Ghost.
And remember, call the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters 3 is not having the women in it.
I really hope they bring the one guy who died back as a ghost in that movie.
As like a cameo? Hell yeah,
what's his face?
Like
Egon?
Egon, yeah.
He's the best, alright.
We got Peter Cushing back in Rogue One with CGI. I'm pretty sure we have the technology to bring Egon back as a ghost.
Like, you gotta be careful you don't make it like a shitty cameo that pisses off the fans. Like, you gotta do it some respect, you know?
Yeah.
You just gotta pay homage.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's a good on time to transition into our next segment.
Oh.
Alright, so this is Cut Stories.
Means I have to...
Alright, head on up. Alright, the cut story we're gonna be listening to is The Chair. Or The Chair in,
The Chair.
Yeah, The Chair.
The wet chair.
So, Le Chair.
Story of the week. A few months ago, I went to an auction with a friend, where there were several things for a very low price. Seeing all the items, I ended up falling in love with an old rocking chair. With a little effort I managed to buy this chair. I placed it in the living room of my house. One night I woke up thirsty, and half asleep I went to kitchen to get a glass of water or juice. As I passed the living room, I do not usually turn on any light when I wake up at night to walk around the house. I saw someone in the chair, and I thought it was my wife sitting in the dark, thinking of something. I went to the kitchen, turned on the light, had a glass of orange juice, turned off the light, and went back to the room. When I went into the living room, I looked at the chair and my wife was still there. I said, "Come to sleep, my love, it's late, come." And I went into the bedroom. When I got there, I lay down on the bed and suddenly I was really scared. There was someone lying there. I screamed and turned on the light. Then my wife wakes up with a sleepy face and asks me what it was. When I saw she was in the bedroom, I wondered who was in the living room. Then I said, "Love, there's someone in the living room." We stood up together, and we went to see who was there. My wife stood at the door looking at me, and I went into the living room. I turned on the light and saw no one. I looked behind the couch, the curtains, but there was no one there. She asked me if I was sure I had seen someone, and I confirmed it pointing to the rocking chair. I looked at everything again, and went to see the doors and windows. All closed and locked. Then my wife went back mumbling that I must have been dreaming, but I was sure that I had seen someone sitting on the rocking chair. Once I was coming home, and my wife was still at work. From the garage you could see the living room. I turned off the car and soon after I turned off the headlights, I looked into the house and saw someone sitting on that rocking chair. I turned on the headlights again, but when the light lit the room, there was no one there. I got out of the car, went to the window, and looked inside for a while, trying to see anything but there was nothing there. I walked into the house and everything was normal. Another time, the maid was at home cleaning. I was in the back office when I heard her scream. I ran into the house and met her in the kitchen, with a pale face and unable to say anything. She just pointed to the living room. I went there, but there was nothing abnormal. After a while I managed to calm her down, and then she explained to me what had happened. She said she was dusting the furniture. She had just cleaned the rocking chair and turned to clean the coffee table. After passing the cloth on the table she turned and saw an old woman sitting in the rocking chair, looking at her. Then she screamed and ran to the kitchen. To this day she refuses to get close to that chair, and no longer stays alone in the living room. She only goes in there if she has someone else with her. I've never seen this old woman sitting in the rocking chair very clearly, just her figure, so I do not know what she looks like. But I imagine it to be the ghost of a former owner of the chair, who came along when I bought it.
It was correct. Anyways.
Ah, chair's haunted.
Oh, the spooky chair. Spooky old woman. OM gosh, scare wife. Wife.
You know what? Fucking
of?
poetic that this cut story is related to ghosts.
Yeah, it is. Poor.
Yeah, I kind of went in blind.
Well, you could just burn it. Although technically you'd be destroying the vessel, and now the spirit would be free to roam around, but at least it wouldn't be bothering the chair.
True.
Well, there's been many instances of items being possessed by spirits, right?
Yeah, usually it's tied to a personal item of the now deceased owner.
Right. I mean, the person could have died in the chair.
Yeah, I mean, it's an old woman, you know, she probably could have just went, I'm gonna doze off and see God now.
Yeah.
Hey, Hans, I actually just thought of a good question now that you brought that up.
Yeah?
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but just kind of stay with me on this.
Alright. Bucko, we're on the short bus together.
Okay.
Alright, so suppose you have, like, this, crummy, poor homeless guy, right?
Yup.
And suppose he has a sex doll.
Fuck. No.
Yeah, he...
No. Keep on writing
if that
this,
homeless
folks.
guy... If that homeless guy dies, could his spirit go and possess the doll? Like, could it get attached to the sex doll?
There's nothing stopping it from getting attached to the sex doll.
He's just...
Oh my god!
You're just, like, walking in this alleyway, and you go up to the dumpster,
Stop!
and you just see it, like, inflate up out of the dumpster.
Oh my god.
Imagine getting...
It's like...
imagine
It's
being
like
the unlucky...
levitating.
Imagine being the unlucky fucker that gets mugged by a haunted sex doll.
Imagine being
Like, no one will believe you, but you're still coming home without shoes.
the unlucky fucker who gets raped by a haunted sex doll.
You just see it, like, floating in the air, levitating after you.
Just slams its full weight down on you.
Wait, would the safe word be Jesus Christ? In the name of Jesus Christ, I vanquish thee?
I'm pretty sure. Either that, or you could, like, maybe it's like a balloon. Maybe you can, like, try popping it, and maybe it'll go away.
Dude, it's probably got so much crusty old nasty cum in there, but, ew.
I was gonna say, can you imagine, like, this thing's chasing you, and, like, the holes are just dripping in, like, hot goo?
Oh my god.
Carry my seed!
Ectoplasm, I swear.
Wait a minute. What if you do that, and then, like, it does some, like, mind trick or hallucination on you, and you see, like, this half-human, half-doll creature spawn from it?
Ew.
Like, crawl out of its,
like
where, and then, like, run after you?
Good lord.
Ghostbusters!
I don't even think the Ghostbusters could handle that.
Bustin' makes me feel good!
Well, ain't that a fact?
Ghosts aren't the only thing you busted tonight.
Oh, come on, Hamburg. Sorry.
Alright. I'll admit it. Jesus Christ, Techno, I knew it was a good choice bringing you on.
Bustin' make me feel good. Na 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 na.
Alright, back onto our General X discussion. We're kind of talking more about ghosts and shit.
Yeah.
Woo!
Spoopy.
Bruh.
Spoopy.
So, I'm playing Civ 5, alright? And one of my cities just converted to an opposing religion. Fuck's sake.
Wait. Is that like a Civ5.xp Sonic.exe creepypasta haunted video game?
No, it's just Civ 5. It's just...
Civ5.exe?
Sure.
The Sims?
The Sims.
.exe?
The Sims.exe. Fucking...
What if you had Spore.exe?
Oh.
Yes! Finally! Oh my god.
What would that
demonic
look
dick
like?
monsters come out the computer screen.
Evil.
Oh yeah, for those who are listening who don't know what we're talking about, you can just go on a regular server and see half the shit we were talking
You
about.
go back.
Oh my god. Spore dick monsters, man. I am...
Dick monsters.
Absolutely.
Hans,
Entire
please
planet's
promise
full
me.
of them.
Please promise me that's going to be a cryptic of the week.
Spore
would be
dick
just-
monster.
That would be your most popular episode. I can assure you.
Oh my god.
It's under
I'm gonna
consideration.
All right, thank you.
I
As
will
long as
have
you're
a blast
considering.
if that episode happens.
Yeah, Hans, you're gonna have to sit this one out. It's Techno has to be
Yeah, he has to be.
the main dude for that
He has to
episode. He has to
Yo,
be the
wait.
host.
Hold up. Let me check something really quick.
He's gotta have his own theme song that plays in the beginning.
His
own spin-off episode.
It's Techno. He's a weirdo. It's Techno.
Fuck.
He's a.
We were off by one day. I was gonna say it was gonna be April 1st on Sunday.
Oh, that's my mom's birthday, actually.
April Fools.
That would have been the best April Fool's recording ever.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
Jizz monsters.
So, besides ghosts and spore dick monsters, what scares you at night?
Uncle Samsonite, he comes out my closet and starts dancing.
Lord.
Oh, fuck off with that sans posting bullshit.
It's Uncle Samsonite.
Shadow people and sleep paralysis.
Okay, that's
Sleep paralysis.
That's pretty spooky.
That's
One thing that scares me is I have a window that faces my bed, and I'm afraid that there's gonna be some creep looking at me while I sleep. Which is why I sleep with a bayonet next to me, so if I wake up and there's a creep looking at me, I can just slam it straight through the window and the creep will no longer have general life.
Do you sleep on like ground level or is it above on like second floor?
I don't have a second floor, so that kind of narrows.
So it's ground level.
That kind of narrows it down.
Well, I sleep on the second floor, but so I can like just look out at the window and see all the houses. You can stare
Alright,
down.
can we all universally agree that X4chan stories are indefinitely more scary or more creepstery than fucking creepypasta?
That's a fact, okay?
Agreed.
It's just not.
I mean, yeah,
Reddit tried, but
they're
Because the thing
I don't
about
know,
creepypastas is that you know they're fake. With like freaking 4chan, you don't know if it's real or not, and that's the scary part.
I mean, unless it's about a skinwalker, then
I
you know
know.
it's fake. But
It might-
yeah, sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not.
Imagine that one guy who genuinely had a skinwalker encounter, and the next thing you know, he goes on 4chan, and there's like a freaking dozen others that are all fake.
yeah. Sometimes they actually
If
are
it-
real, but
And no one will ever know that he was the one who actually had a real one.
Yo, if any skinwalker story I want to be real, it has to be Anon has sex with Goat
Same.
Girl.
okay.
Oh, that one.
That's the one we all want.
That one.
The one where like a goat man, a goat, or in this case, goat girl, disguises itself as like a cutie pie teenage girl and has sex with Anon. That one has to be the fucking greatest of all time.
good lord.
I have heard a lot of encounters with cryptids, ghosts, UFOs, aliens, stuff like that for a long time. But this is the first time I ever heard of one where someone actually fucked a cryptid.
Everybody makes jokes about it, but
Like, actually took the time to get everything right, lay everything out, like, the perfect timing for that situation, and the amount of, like, effort that they put into it, and actually enjoyed it.
yeah,
Oh, he was prepared, definitely.
right, yeah.
Well, that right there is called craftsmanship.
Like the way he says it, it's the most virgin thing ever. So like, I'm pretty sure it was his first time. So he can finally go to his ancestors and say, "Hey, I fulfilled the European folklore tradition of fucking things I saw in the woods."
Caveman beat them by like a few billion years, but alright.
Nah, you don't know how many fucking European folklore tales start with the dude having sex with a monster in the woods.
Yeah, dude. There's like so many.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the Minotaur.
Yeah, dude.
Girl dressed up in a cow suit and fucked a cow.
Bruh.
Wait, is that the first case of furries?
Bruh, sound effect 7.
The Minotaur was just a...
Bruh, sound effect 18.
They've been around for hundreds of years, and it's only now we just uncovered them.
That fact when the Minotaur was someone's shitty furry OC, do not steal.
No, it's do not steal.
Oh no.
All it needs
I
is
was
an
wrong.
all it
Han?
needs is an indie band T-shirt, and goddamn, it's
Yeah.
pure 100% unadulterated
It
cancer.
needs a vor shirt.
Move on to our next
Yes.
topic.
Oh boy.
The
what's next?
Grays of Oklahoma is our video analysis.
The single best Keck story. Don't change my mind, okay?
Video analysis time.
Do not at
Don't
me.
even at me. Single best Keck story.
You guys all watched it,
Who
right?
hasn't, dude?
Which one?
It's his most popular story. Other than the white man.
Which one?
Grays of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't believe I've seen that one.
It's the one with the aliens. I sent it in the podcast
Bruh.
chat.
Imagine not watching the Grays of Oklahoma. Bruh.
Imagine not
Bruh.
playing sport and going on a planet with dildo monsters.
Bruh sound effect.
Bruh sound effect too.
OMG, bruh.
One moment.
Okay, should I go with compass or education? Quick cut here.
I don't know.
I'll go with compass because that gets me galleys.
I don't give a shit.
Anyways, so the Grays of Oklahoma, the best Keck story. It's about some nibba in Oklahoma who gets alienized.
Oklahoma?
Alienized.
Alright, but if you're talking about the, what year was it again? 19.
Alienized.
Alienized. It started in like the early 90s and ended in the more recent 2010s. So it's a really good story.
Yeah, then
It's about this kid.
That's a long probe.
yeah, UFOs.
Let me do this one.
we
Let me
go
do this one.
to-
I know this one. I've watched it so many times. It's about this guy who's
Okay.
starts off like when he's a kid in the 90s. He's up late at night playing video games like any 90s kid would do, and he sees
Alright.
figures go to his pool, and he thinks this is his little brothers, but it turns out to be AIs. And from that point onward, they continue to fuck around with him. Whether that be because he lives on a ranch, okay, like most people in Oklahoma. Whether that's killing like his family livestock, or hovering their floating triangle spaceships and chasing them around Oklahoma while he's with his goth GF, or during his sheriff days, causing his goth GF to hang herself because she goes cuckoo caca from observing.
Well, it was his ex-GF.
yeah, his
at that
ex GF,
point.
sorry.
Jesus.
But eventually it ends because he beats them up with a baton.
Oh yeah, no, it ends in like the most anticlimactic and fucking hilarious way because he's like a fat Oklahoma retired police sheriff.
Yeah.
And like he has night vision goggles,
the
and he's
Lend-Lease
in his
program.
like he has like a fucking white t-shirt and pajama shorts on. Runs out with a nightstick and night vision
And a
goggles.
6 hour with a suppressor on it.
It chases down an alien in like the middle of the night, tackles it into a pool, and starts beating the shit out of it.
Blacks out,
Like
wakes up
that.
next to his pool at his his childhood home, which is still being used by his parents, and continues to beat the shit out of the aliens with said baton.
Those poor aliens.
Like, think about it. You're a technologically advanced super civilization that traveled light years to see what could be their first account of intelligent life on other planets.
And it just beats
Only
the shit
to
out of you
a
with a baton.
Only for a fucking low-life trash to just come out of his house and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, he wouldn't stand a chance against the dildo monsters in Spore.
Okay, that's true. Those are the single most terrifying creatures in the world. They're like 4 feet tall, but they all covered in penises.
They're actually like civilized. They're one of the most intelligent species out there.
Indeed. Their empire is vast and glorious.
And the only human being to have actually come in contact with them is in the recording booth with us.
Bruh, techno.
Yes. That would be me, ladies and
He
gentlemen.
is a mess.
Yes. So I'm telling you guys right now, the audience, you guys, this is a very special episode. You guys are given a treat. This is a very important person. that we're talking to.
Bruh, yeah, he's like God amongst men.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I'm like the Lorax to them.
He is the Lorax. He speaks for the
Yeah,
trees.
like if they were trees, I would be the Lorax.
I am the Lorax, and I speak for the giant 5-foot penis monsters.
Alright, here's the photo evidence of what the guy was talking about in the green text.
What the hell? It's a
All
triangle.
right, let's take a look at it.
It's a fidget spinner.
So that's it.
Basically.
It's a fidget spinner.
Government, where are you?
Bruh. Government
It's a
can't-
giant black Dorito.
Government can't shoot down fidget spinners or giant black Doritos, bruh. That's when you know your government's garbage.
Bruh.
Is when they can't shoot down.
This is what the guy saw. Is this a picture from him himself,
No.
or?
No,
How am I supposed to be afraid of that? It's a shape.
basically
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just
what
a
it
triangle,
was. No,
dude.
in like the segment where he was getting away with his big titty goth
Yeah.
GF on the highway
That's
when he was a
yeah.
teenager. That's what chased
No,
him.
that yeah, and then they screw around the area a bunch of times. They see people see a bunch of them, and they're like, "Oh, let's."
Like, if you actually go through the Oklahoma police records, you can actually find a timeline of all the incidents being
Yeah,
reported.
which is actually really neat. Yeah. Also, the guy's dad was
So
the
they got
sheriff.
chased by a shape.
Because I remember
Yeah,
I remember
basically.
reading the subsequent thread afterwards where the guy tries to because his dad takes pictures of like the little alien feetsies from the first encounter he had with them because they started to screw around at his house with them, and his dad takes pictures of them. And I remember there's a thread where he tried to find the pictures but he couldn't because this is from 1993 or whatever, and so a long time ago.
Yeah, like, you'd have, like, Isle of Mouse stories from the 1990 fuck off.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But, anyway.
Anyways.
Anyways. In terms of believability,
Oh,
what do we have?
dude, it's super believable.
I'd say they're believable. We have enough evidence to support their existence.
Especially with the all the bloody police reports that you can find. It's like the
And the fact that he worked with the police,
Yeah.
too. I believe he was a deputy.
yeah, he was the sheriff's deputy. It's the same with the one like the Joshua Tree National Park one, where the guy has the police report to back up what he said. So that
Yeah.
helps.
So, what's your ratings, folks? In believability, I give it
Same.
a 10.
10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I love it. I love this story.
Give it.
It's fucking danky. Dank as fuck.
I'd give
And
it
turn-
an 8.
In terms of actual storytelling, what do you guys give
I
it?
give it a 10 or 9.5. I don't know. There was some kind of boring bits that didn't really need to be thrown in there.
I'd give it an 8 still.
Techno, your rating,
He hasn't
buddy?
seen it before.
Yeah. that's
Okay, I haven't seen it, so as of now,
Pleb.
it has a nothing.
Fucking pleb.
Next segment. Buddha, ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga
Oh no, they're
ooga
back.
chaka. Dun, dun,
Stuck
dun.
on a...
Other board! What board do you guys want to talk about?
Let's do fucking good old /X. How about that? The goat fuckers.
Well, we do X every week.
True. How about the hentai board? Whatever it is.
No.
Oh
B.
god.
How about we talk about B?
We did B last episode, you fucking mongoloid.
Watch the episode.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to
If you don't, I'm gonna
Kabinkast.
lynch.
Well, subscribe,
Okay,
you
I'm-
nerd. You're on it.
I'm going to lynch
Oh, yeah,
you with
that's
a bungee
true.
cord if you don't.
I've subscribed just
Good
now.
boy.
Alright, that's good.
Prevent bungee cord.
Spin the wheel!
Let's do. Fuck. Let's do out.
Hold on,
Let's do
let me-
/out. Why not?
Stop.
Talk about the nature lovers. Oh no, wait, that's a different board.
Alright.
/out is where you go when you want to walk in the woods, walk on the wild side.
Gonna walk on the wild side.
It's
Basically, let's go for a hike, Anon.
Anon. Let's
Yes.
go for a hike. We should probably be incorporated with
Go for a
/K
hike.
because
And go
we basically are
sightseeing.
inhabited by the same people.
You know what the thing is, though? It's probably one of the least used boards, considering it's 4chan.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, actually. Like I said, it should just basically be incorporated /K, because the same people use both boards.
Yeah, most of the time it's just talking about going
outside, going hunting, finding skinwalkers, etc.
Is that it? I figured, what about, like, abandoned, buildings and stuff?
Oh yeah, that's true. They do like, abandoned shit as well, I guess.
Yeah, we should, go into
abandoned
that.
shit is fun. I want to get into urbex. But...
So, like, urban exploration?
Yeah, a lot of the urbex places are out in the desert for me, so... And I don't have a lot of friends who want to do urbex, so... If I do it by myself, I'm probably going to end up impaling myself on a piece of rebar 500 miles out in the desert and die of...
Or end up being raped by Cletus.
Yeah, Cletus. Cletus, so born, I'm in a rebar.
Well, for me, it would probably be mainly in forests or in abandoned houses. Yeah. Although if it's in the forest, it'd probably be abandoned mine shafts.
Yeah, dude, there's a bunch of abandoned mine shafts out here, too.
Yo, those are some creepy-ass shit places to go.
Yeah, exploring abandoned mines and whatever that guy's called, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
It makes for good watching if you're just bored and you want to watch some random shit. Just watch urban exploration videos or whatever.
Have any of you guys actually gone to an abandoned area?
Oh yeah, dozens of times.
Yeah, there's like a rundown place right next to my house.
I've gone a few times, but not too many.
The last one I went to was abandoned a wood factory, just a few giant sawmills, and stuff, dude.
Yeah, there's not a lot of abandoned shit near me. Like, the closest thing I had was a giant steel factory, but, like, that got repurposed into a casino, so...
Casino.
Last one I went to was my second investigation in the town of my friend's abandoned house, which is apparently also haunted, so that was fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Ooh. I have vague memories of going to some abandoned place, but it was a while ago, so I don't remember jack shit.
But, like, what's a good place to go sightseeing? Like, you just want to hike up, not, like, extreme hiking, just nice fucking...
Here in the desert?
Like, here, anywhere in the U.S.
I don't know.
Plan on going
close to me, I'm just gonna go with close to me. There's the mountain, which is really nice, which actually is, like, the only forested area in this part of Arizona, is the mountain. But it's a mountain, so it's very uneven, and you're likely to break your ankle if you're not careful, so watch out, folks. Otherwise,
oh man,
you're gonna break your ankle on
I would probably say the forests of Appalachia. Since, you know, I'm from Pennsylvania, the woods make a lot of sense to me, so...
Dude, you want your ass to get eaten by a skinwalker?
Yeah, dude. That's how you get raped on the Appalachian Trail.
Dude, it's fucking Pennsylvania. We're at the second most haunted shithole in the United States, right next to West Virginia.
Yeah, and I already told you, in terms of cryptids, Pennsylvania is like West Virginia's little brother.
Yeah, in my opinion, though, a lot of the West Virginia stuff is kind of made up, because West Virginia is basically empty, okay? We can all say that. And, for example, the Mothman, the Mothman's totally fake, because, Point Pleasant is a sleepy town with no one, and they're all poor there, so they wanted to drum up tourism. So they came up with some spooky giant moth N-word that was loosely based on the fact that two drunk couples were out speeding and they saw something spooky.
You do know the Mothman was sighted long before those two, right? Yeah. There was that one sighting in the graveyard.
Yeah, I bet
there was that one sighting.
I bet that one
back from
probably was just.
I think it was 1961 or 1963. About a man and his young daughter went up and saw the Mothman rise up out of a bush.
I think that one was probably just. Like a bird or something, and the the workers one.
Man, that's a lot of fuzz.
The workers one, I bet it was.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm doing my laundry right now while I'm talking to you. So
the workers one, I bet was just probably workers being workers, you know, tired and shit, especially since it was late at night. But the couples one, it was obvious. They're most likely drunk as fuck or something. And they're like, oh, I see Mothman. Oh, go, Mothman. Man of Moth.
Well, then
the
how
Virgin,
do you explain the
the
bridge?
Virgin Mothman versus the Chad Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Man, the Virgin Jersey Devil versus the Chad Thunderbird.
Yo, the Thunderbird's fucking dank. The Lost Thunderbird.
It's a bird that can make thunder.
God damn.
The Lost Thunderbird's actually pretty interesting. Happened around here. Apparently, a bunch of cowboys shot down a Thunderbird, and they took a picture of it, but no one can ever find that picture. And it's the case of the "have you seen this man in your dreams" thing, where everybody claims to have seen the photograph, but can't remember where or when. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's pretty interesting.
Well, moving on in the world. That was a pleasant discussion of talking about places to visit. And how you're always one step of turning an out story. So you're always one step away from turning an out story into an X story.
That's always fun.
Oh, I have one more before we move on. Have you guys heard of Oklahoma's The Purple Church?
Oh, yeah, that... I've
No,
heard
it
that,
happened.
but I can't remember what happened in it. Wasn't it like some cold place or something?
Care to enlighten us?
Yeah.
So it's this place. It's like a little bunker in the middle of the woods, and I mean, there's pictures of it in the inside. There's a bunch of graffiti on the outside and in, but everybody seems to have a different experience. In fact, I'm pretty sure Skinwalkers has also been tied. The Purple Church. Everybody seemed to have seen everything in that little area. People have seen like animals hung on the trees, body parts around the place.
So it's super haunted.
Very scary place. Yeah, super haunted. And it's actually funny. It's a little funny that it's in Oklahoma, because Oklahoma seems to be like a reoccurring spot for anything and everything paranormal, you know, or extraterrestrials. Like
Oklahoma and New Mexico.
Oklahoma's a fucked up place, dude.
Same
it's
with
weird.
Pennsylvania.
Indian reservations and knockoff cryptids.
Yeah, man. So if anybody is gonna go anywhere in America for some sort of paranormal activity, I would say your best bet is to go visit Oklahoma, wherever it might be, because there always seems to be a fucking corner there that's haunted. So enjoy.
That was a fucking neat as shit story. It reminded me of that. What was it called? Lost Tapes. Oh, have any of you guys?
I remember Lost Tapes.
Yo, have any of you fuckers seen Lost Tapes?
Lost Tapes.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a TV show before it unfortunately got canceled.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds.
It's where
very,
they like.
very familiar.
It's like they would do like. It was a TV show where like they would do like a found footage episode format, and like it would be about a certain cryptid. Like one episode, I think the first episode was the Chupacabra. It was about a bunch of illegal border jumpers being caught by faced and red-pilled Chupacabras.
Good lord.
Yeah, like in the vid, like like the family in the first episode, the family's trying to move to the United States from Mexico, and like as they're trying to cross the border, the coyote smuggling them like kicks them off halfway because he could, and after he kicks them off, they start hiking up to the U.S. border, and they're like halfway when they're like at the U.S. border, you know, like they start hearing weird shit in the woods, and like a Chupacabra starts chasing them, and like the border patrol comes out to see and sees them getting attacked by the Chupacabra, and like all you see is like the thermal video of like the mother getting run down, and it just cuts to like the officers finding the bodies of the mother and father, and like them saving the little girl.
Remember that one episode with the Death Raptor? That was the one with Owlman in it.
Owlman, that's the one. That's the episode that. That's what reminded me of what the story you're telling. That's what made me remind me of Lost Tapes. You know, where they're like in the church with the old woman.
Yeah.
And like the fucking Owlman is just haunting that shit and like eating them. Fucking nice.
You're still doing your laundry?
Yeah. I like how it went from, this went from a discussion about the /out to /x.
Well, I'm sorry,
I mean,
but like the church he described just reminded me of that episode of Lost Tapes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess it kind of was on,
Yeah, it goes. I mean, out still displays like haunted or not haunted, but
it's
like
kind of a
abandoned
smashing
places.
together of /k and /x, I guess.
And that's the way it should
With
be.
going outside kind of included in it.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
boards of people going dumpster diving. If you guys want to go back into out.
Oh no, don't dumpster dive. You'll probably find the haunted sex doll.
Yeah, the
Don't remind us of homeless man's haunted sex doll.
Yeah, dude, be careful, bruh, be careful.
Alright, what else is on the agenda?
This is preview
Oh boy.
for
Oh,
Keques'
boy.
new video.
Oh,
In this
jeez.
section, Tertius, the best editor, and on a personal note, congratulations on the marriage. You
Yeah.
had.
Yes,
Congratulations.
yes. Our editor just got married, so everybody
Yeah.
please remember.
Yeah. Good job, Tertius.
What a Chad.
Well, anyway, he's going to put in the thumbnail for the next episode of Keques.
Alright, let's see it.
Roll the clip.
Ba 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 ba. Her face, na na na.
Real talk, I don't have it, so let's pretend to react as he puts it in post.
Whoa! Holy smokes! That's awesome,
Wait, you don't? I thought you had it.
bruh.
Shit, no, it was from last episode. Fucking don't have it.
Oh.
We're just gonna edit this part out.
Okay.
Wow, what a fucking cool ass thumbnail.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's gonna be
Hans
about.
definitely has the thumbnail, and we're all looking at it. And it's
Is that
super
the fucking
awesome.
Yoda death scream?
Yes.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh my god.
I heard the Yoda death scream. The Lego
Who did
Yoda
that?
death scream.
Who did that? Who did that? Oh,
Anyway, have
Yes.
a fantastic night, folks.
Bye bye.
I
Yes,
hope
have a
the
good night,
skit-
everybody.
Have a good
I
night,
hope the
everyone.
skit-
Thanks
North
for tuning in.
America, South America, Europe, Asia, and the bad place no one wants to live. Good night.
Bye.
We're talking about you, Britain. No one
No, I'm
likes
talking
you.
about Africa, dude. No one wants to live in Africa.
Get up.
No.
I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, I'd rather live in Africa than Britain. Just gonna be
Everybody type oof in the comments if you've made it this
Yeah.
far.
honest. All right. Good night.
Good night, everyone.